Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. Andrew Wiggins is exactly the kind of player who could raise the team's ceiling without compromising its long-term flexibility. With Doncic under contract and LeBron still chasing another title, the window to compete is wide open, and adding an experienced wing could be the final push Los Angeles needs to get back to the top. Once off their list, Wiggins has become a more attractive option for the Lakers as they prioritize long-term roster stability. The Lakers' priorities are shifting, and it's opening the door for some new possibilities on the trade market. With Luka Doncic locked into a long-term deal, Los Angeles is now exploring multi-year commitments they previously avoided, and according to Dan Woik of the Los Angeles Times, Andrew Wiggins has emerged as a top target to bolster their wing rotation. One area the team is focused on is upgrading the wing, where it needs more two-way talent, wrote Woik. A player like Miami's Andrew Wiggins, whom the Lakers weren't interested in earlier this summer, is now a more desirable player, provided the price is right. The Lakers have made it clear that they want to see how their current roster performs before making any major changes. With Luka Doncic in tow and a solid roster around him that includes LeBron James, Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, and Rui Hachimura, the Lakers are rich with depth, and only time will tell if it's enough to keep up with teams like the Thunder, Nuggets, and Timberwolves in the West. If not, the Lakers would look to bolster their wing, and Wiggins could be the perfect fit. In 60 games last season, the 30-year-old swingman averaged 18.0 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game on 45.8% shooting. With 11 years of experience on various teams, including the 2022 Championship Warriors squad, he brings a lot to the table in terms of talent and leadership in the locker room. Currently, Wiggins is on a 2-year deal worth $58 million, and it includes a player option for the 2026-27 season. If the Lakers trade for him, the price would be high, and it would likely only come under the condition that he extends with them to avoid the possibility of losing him next summer. Alternatively, he could opt into his deal to postpone his free agency until 2027. Regarding what a potential Wiggins trade might look like, it would likely have to involve 3 teams. One hypothetical scenario could see the Lakers acquiring Wiggins in a 3-team deal with the Heat and Nets for Rui Hachimura, Dalton Knecht, and Maxi Kleber. Ideally, the Lakers could acquire Wiggins without sacrificing their core or giving up any of their future draft picks. At this point, however, picks are no longer the priority. With Luka Doncic locked in for the foreseeable future, the Lakers can safely and confidently pivot to win-now mode, meaning that their current stockpile of assets has become expendable. In a limited market, trading for Wiggins is a solid move that adds yet another versatile veteran to play alongside Luka. No matter what happens with LeBron, Wiggins' skill set would help balance out the offense and provide another major scoring threat on the perimeter. Christian Koloko has the perfect final opportunity with the Lakers this season. The backup center spot is Christian Koloko's to lose. The Los Angeles Lakers enjoyed a pretty good success story last season with Jordan Goodwin going from a 2-way contract to a standard NBA deal by season's end. Christian Koloko will be the player everyone is eyeing to replicate that type of success in 2025-26. The Lakers still have a brutal backup center rotation behind DeAndre Ayton. Jackson Hayes is inconsistent. Maxi Kleber has his best days behind him. Koloko is unproven. The hope would be that last sentiment changing throughout the upcoming season. 2025-26 will be the best opportunity Koloko can get to carve out a role at the NBA level. If the Lakers center cannot beat out the uninspiring options of Hayes and Kleber, it is also likely to be his last opportunity with Los Angeles. This will be the second year for Koloko on a 2-way contract with the Lakers. 2024-25 was about getting him up to speed after returning to the NBA following issues with blood clots. 2025-26 will come with less leniency and more expectations to make something of his circumstances. Christian Koloko must emerge as the backup center by season's end. If the Lakers do not want to go external to solve their lackluster center rotation before the NBA trade deadline in February, Koloko will need to be the answer. Lakers insider Jovan Buha thought the Lakers center would surely receive his moments to prove himself on a recent episode of his podcast. Buha said, "It comes down to can he outplay Jackson Hayes and or Maxi Kleber? I think so. Even if he doesn't per se, I also think there's just value in having a guy like Koloko who I think is a better rim protector and defender than either one of those guys." The Lakers reporter added his belief in the flashes being there for Koloko being a rotation-level backup center last season. However, by Buha's own admission, that came with moments where the Lakers' big man lacked polish. Finishing consistently on the offensive end, staying out of foul trouble, and adding more physicality to his game were highlighted as the main needs for Koloko. That would allow him to continue proving just how good the upside with his defensive instincts. Koloko will only get 50 games, as things stand, to make his mark with the Lakers. Those would be the limitations of his current two-way deal with the team. It should be unsurprising to see Rob Pelinka keep that 15th spot on the roster open for quite some time. Koloko will not only need to prove his worth against his internal competition, but also reassure the Lakers that whatever buyout candidates are eventually available will not be worth their time over his promotion to a standard deal. Lakers beat writer confirms latest rumblings aren't just noise. The Los Angeles Lakers will indeed be aggressive moving forward. Mark Stein lit the fire of hope in Los Angeles when the NBA insider suggested Rob Pelinka and his front office were ready to be more aggressive in building a championship contender around Luka Doncic. Dan Woik of The Athletic only reaffirmed this in his most recent write-up. The Los Angeles Lakers beat writer sang pretty much the exact same tune that Stein did. The idea was now that Doncic is fully locked up on an extension, there is reason for the Lakers to abide by their superstar's wishes and deliver an upgraded roster. Woik wrote, according to team and league sources, the Lakers' stance on roster improvements heading into this season has shifted because of the start of this new chapter together. The Lakers insider similarly shared intel about an increased willingness from the front office to take on contracts that last beyond the 2025-26 season. Upgrading the wings was likewise confirmed as a main priority for Los Angeles. Trusted voices give weight to the Lakers' latest speculation. When there are multiple insiders telling the exact same story, it is worth listening. Stein and Woik are both reliable insiders when it comes to this kind of information. That should give plenty of reason to believe there is a ton of weight to what is being said here. Woik even added to the conversation around Andrew Wiggins specifically. The Lakers insider called the Miami Heat forward a more desirable player after the shift in mentality from the organization. Granted, the price still needed to be right for Pelinka and company to pull the trigger. Another important piece of information that was added to the mix was the Lakers' stance on their lone tradable first-round pick. Woik explained that asset would be earmarked for a much bigger move in the future. Doncic's incredible run at Eurobasket 2025 has inspired motion in the front office. Planning for a future that is off to the distance does seem rather silly when an improved superstar, who has a case for being the best player on the planet after his incredible display in the tournament, is on the roster. For a fanbase that loves to be involved in rumor mill gossip, it is time to buckle up. The Lakers appear poised to be active, and that should bring a lot of fun with what that could entail. Those with Photoshop skills are in for a good time. Lakers' path to winning championship is painfully obvious. Los Angeles Lakers reported Jovan Buha recently went on his show, Buha's Block, and voiced an interesting opinion about the team. It's his belief that the Lakers are just one trade for another two-way wing away from being in the top tier of championship contenders in the NBA this coming season. He says that right now, he has LA in the second tier of contenders. But if they make the right move, he says, they can vault themselves up into the top tier with teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and Denver Nuggets. Overall, I think Jovan makes a solid point here. It would be hard to say the Lakers are already among the top championship contenders in the association as of right now. Yes, they have Luka Doncic now, but you've got to see the on-court results come together before you can realistically say they're ready to take over. Losing in 5 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs last season makes it difficult to say that they should be considered a Tier 1 contender as is. Even the off-season additions LA has made aren't enough to truly make the national audience see them as the same kind of threat as say the Nuggets. the Lakers can become a Tier 1 contender with the right move. But at the same time, the roster is currently strong enough that Buha's assertion that the right addition would bring everything together feels fair. It's obvious that the Lakers now have a stronger squad that's suited to maximize Luka Doncic's talent, and the roster is no longer built to favor LeBron James specifically. You've got DeAndre Ayton acting as a strong pick-and-roll partner for Luka and a big paint presence on the interior. Then on the perimeter, Marcus Smart will come in and serve as a strong point-of-attack defender who can knock down timely shots. If you add a reputable guy who can play off of Luka's creation abilities and knock down open threes offensively and be a stabilizing force defensively as well, the Lakers will be in an increasingly positive position. At that point, I don't think it's misplaced at all to think of LA in the category of a legitimate championship contender. The Lakers can look to add a guy of this caliber sometime in the upcoming season ahead of the trade deadline. Marcus Smart unquestionably enters Lakers training camp with the most to prove. Does the former DPOY still have it in him? The Los Angeles Lakers broke the hearts of Celtics fans everywhere when they signed Marcus Smart to a 2-year deal this offseason. He spent the past 2 seasons with the Wizards and Grizzlies after being traded by Boston in 2023. Smart played a combined 54 games within that span, making his next step his most important. Los Angeles didn't have the offseason that LeBron James had hoped for, but the Lakers are still pushing for another NBA championship while balancing future financial flexibility. They signed Smart and DeAndre Ayton, 2 players who could make or break their season. Smart built his reputation in Boston as one of the best defenders in the league, winning the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2021-22. Expecting him to revert to that player with the Lakers would be unreasonable, especially after he missed significant time the past few seasons, but his defense alone can make his $5.1 million salary look like nothing if the move ages the way the organization hopes it will. Marcus Smart can help change everything for the Lakers. There are a lot of Smart naysayers, including notorious Celtics fan Bill Simmons, giving him the ultimate opportunity to flip the script with the Lakers. He couldn't ask for a better position to be in, especially if what some fans want to see comes true. We haven't even reached the preseason yet, but fans are clamoring for Smart to start over Austin Reeves. Smart isn't a player who needs to operate with the ball in his hands, and he's, at least, a good perimeter defender. It's not exactly realistic to expect JJ Redick to send Reeves to the bench in favor of Smart, but the head coach could start Smart over Rui Hachimura. That might not be a move that will happen right away, but it's one Redick could experiment with depending on how the first stretch of the season goes and how Smart looks. The 31-year-old is at a pivotal point in his career. He needed a career resurgence, and he got one in LA. How he'll mesh with the Lakers is to be determined, but it's an experiment that was worth trying out. The worst-case scenario? Smart doesn't look anything like the player he was in Boston. The best-case scenario? His winning ways helped Los Angeles win a title. Talk about proving yourself. Lakers eye aggressive moves after Luka Doncic Eurobasket. Luka Doncic put on a show at Eurobasket, leading the tournament in scoring with 34.7 points per game, while adding 8.6 rebounds and 7.1 assists. Despite Slovenia's exit in the round of 8, Doncic's play was the story of the event. Doncic was the best player at Eurobasket, 34.7 points a game, first in the tournament, 8.6 rebounds, 8th, and 7.1 assists, tied for second, Dan Woik of The Athletic reported. He may not win MVP because Slovenia was eliminated in the round of 8, but that was as far as he could carry this roster. Coming off a summer where his conditioning work went viral, Doncic looked locked in, and his form is already impacting the Lakers' thinking. The Lakers' stance on roster improvements heading into this season has shifted because of the start of this new chapter together, according to league and team sources. One priority is adding wing depth, an area the Lakers know they need help. Woik specifically pointed to Miami's Andrew Wiggins as a target. A player like Miami's Andrew Wiggins, whom the Lakers weren't interested in earlier this summer, is now a more desirable player, provided the price is right, Kurt Helin of NBC Sports wrote. Wiggins averaged 18 points and 4.5 rebounds on 37.4% shooting from 3 last season. He is owed $28.2 million this year with a player option worth $30.2 million next year. Any potential trade would be complicated. Both the Heat and Lakers are hard-capped, and Los Angeles sits just $1.1 million under the first apron. Any trade that sees the Heat shed salary and the Lakers take on Wiggins will have to involve a third team, likely Brooklyn. It is cap space, Helen explained. That's a lot that has to come together. With LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and newcomers DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart already in the mix, the Lakers want to see how this group looks.